If you've been following headlines, you know Canada has a trash problem. In less than 2 weeks, Malaysia will send back containers filled with our garbage, and the Philippines will not be far behind, as both countries now refuse to become the dumping ground for Canada's waste. Joining us for more is Joanne St. Goddard. She's the Executive Director at the Recycling Council of Ontario. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Just to set up for our viewers, we also send our garbage to Taiwan, South Korea, Turkey, Thailand, Pakistan, and Indonesia. Why is our garbage being sent all over the world?
Well, predominantly because we don't actually process much material here in Canada. Recycling materials are a commodity. They are raw materials for new production cycles, and they go to the highest bidder. And we know that globally, most of the production happens in that part of the world. And so that's where the commodity materials go to. So it's really just a matter of economics. They follow to the highest bidder, and we don't produce much here in Canada. So most of our recyclables go there.
So that people understand, part of the agreement is some of this is supposed to be recycling. And my understanding in Malaysia is they opened up the container and there's so much plastic in it, what's in there can't be recycled. It can't follow through with the agreement that we made with them. So the Philippines and Malaysia have now publicly said Canada is being, quote, irresponsible with their export of plastic waste. How long, Joanne, do you think until other countries start to fight back and refuse to take our garbage?
Yeah, I think it's becoming exponential. The first move by the Chinese government about a year and a half ago included restrictions as well as prohibitions. So outright refusing and taking less material, but then adding restrictions to ensure that the materials that they were taking were actually clean enough for production. And you're quite right, over time, we've made less and less efforts to send homogeneous materials, just plastics or just the paper that they were looking for, and other materials got mixed in, and we became quite complacent. They had to add extra labor to try to sort out materials, and so now they're pushing back and saying not only do we want less, but we want cleaner.
What will happen to this garbage as it starts to come back to our country? Where does it go?
Well, we're certainly hoping it will obviously be received to a port here, very likely on the west side of the country. We're very much hoping that the sender is responsible to receive back the materials and ensure that as much material that's in there that is recyclable is recycled. And unfortunately, the contamination or the dirty material will very likely end up in landfill or incineration.
A big problem is illegal plastic recycling facilities that are shipping to developing nations. Since 2018, Canada has closed more than 150 plants. Environment Minister Catherine McEwen had this to say on the issue. Canada takes this very seriously, is looking into any potential wrongdoings by the private company. All Canadian companies are required to comply with the law, and any violations will lead to legal penalties. Canadian officials have reached out to Malaysia to gather more information. So basically saying this is a private company's fault, this isn't really Canada's issue. But, you know, if countries keep sending back our dirty garbage, how does this hurt our image on a global scale?
Well, I think we're known for our natural environment, and I think this is certainly a stain on our reputation. I think we have to look at what we're generating, what we're producing, and what we're consuming here in Canada, and how we are. We're pretty blessed with some pretty world-renowned curbside municipal programs that collect materials, and they're taken every week away from our homes, and we don't think much about that, where they go and how they're treated. And I think this is a bit of a wake-up call for us. I think we have to think about how we're consuming and what we're producing and what it's generating.
The government has said that this is the work of private companies, but are they not responsible for oversight? And do you think more oversight needs to happen to make sure that the garbage that we send out is what we agreed to?
No question. I think these are absolutely, these businesses are permitted, and there has to be oversight to ensure that what they in fact are shipping, they're transparent about that, and that we are overseeing what's leaving our docks. No question.
Joanne Goddard, thanks for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.